Hello there, you're watching Alt24 News. Coming up next in our news program. President of the Republic Abdelmajid Tebboune states that Algeria won't tolerate any interference in its domestic affairs. Plus, in an exclusive interview with Algerian Foreign Minister and International Community Abroad, Ramtan Lamamra clarified the goal behind Ambassadors and Council Conference. Finally, risk of Ethiopia descending into widening civil war is only too real. And welcome. First in our top stories, President of the Republic Abdelmajid Tebboune affirmed that Algeria will not tolerate, as part of its bilateral relations with its European partners, any interference in its domestic affairs, emphasizing the necessity of establishing ties based on mutual respect and equal sovereignty of countries. Let's have a listen.
As part of its bilateral relations with its European partners, Algeria will not tolerate any interference in its domestic affairs and will remain willing to establish ties based on the mutual respect and total commitment to respecting the principle of sovereign equality of states.
In an exclusive interview with Alt24 News channel, Algerian Minister of Foreign Affairs and National Community Abroad, Ramtan Lamamra, stated that Algeria organizing this conference is one of its kind, and the aim behind it is to reinforce the national security of the country by binding in strong relations with all countries, especially neighboring ones. Let's follow.
Mr. Minister, because we are an international channel, now we will try to switch to English for a couple of words, because we are the first TV channel in the Maghreb region, our viewers from the whole world. In a couple of words, what would you say about this conference?
First and foremost, I'm quite happy that Algeria has an international voice that helps us to bring our message to the rest of the world.
Inshallah.
So I am part of it now, and I am glad to contribute my share to make our voice heard. So this conference is quite important. It is taking place at the initiative of President Tebboune, who has decided that Algeria should make more contributions to help build a new future for the whole mankind. We believe that there is a room for contributions on the part of a country like Algeria. We have been playing such a role in the past. We believe that Algeria has accumulated wisdom, experience, commitment, and also a kind of acceptance on the part of a number of international partners, acceptance of the role that Algeria can play in bringing peace and stability, not only in our region, but much beyond our region, as we have shown that in the past in helping to settle a number of major international crises. So I think that the combination between the new role that the Algerian diplomacy is called to play globally and regionally, and also the fact that now we have a voice that can be heard far away from home is quite an important development, and we congratulate you for that.
Thank you so much. I really do appreciate every single word you have said.
Most welcome.
Appreciated. Thank you so much.
North African Petroleum and Gas Industry Exhibition and Conference opens for the 10th edition with the presence of numerous Algerian officials in industry and energy sectors. The opening was with the presence of 40 countries and 480 exhibitors. Ayati Usama.
The 10th edition of North African Petroleum and Gas Industry Exhibition and Conference, NAPEC 2021, opened Monday at the Convention Center of Oran, Mohammed bin Hamad, with the participation of 480 exhibitors representing 40 countries.
Sincerely thank the organizers of the NAPEC for the efforts they deployed to organize this important event and for having given us the opportunity to be part of it. The NAPEC provides each time the forum that allows the different guests, most of whom are directly or indirectly involved in the oil sand.
The opening ceremony was attended by the Secretary General of Ministry of Energy and Mines, Abdelkarim Awisi, the President and General Director of Sonatrach, Tawfiq Hakar, the Director General of Sonalgaz, Shahr Bulkharas, and the General Director of the National Agency of the Valuation of Hydrocarbon Resources, Nordin Daudi. This international professional fair for energy and hydrocarbon sector is the largest in the Mediterranean and Africa. It covers strategic directions and technical approaches and discusses the main challenges and opportunities in the energy sector. Parallel with the exhibition, seminars were programmed for participants to discuss energy in North Africa, resources, challenges, and opportunities. In addition to identifying the position of Algerian gas in the global and local market, great opportunities and challenges for the future of energy sector in Algeria, and the future strategies and investments according to the new market conditions in North Africa. The exhibition will also address the most important projects and upcoming opportunities in the region, in addition to regional development and the future of liquefied natural gas industry and marketing. NAPEC is the largest international professional fair for hydrocarbons and energy in Africa and Mediterranean region, which is dedicated to North African market products, services, and technologies related to petroleum and gas activities.
This event represents an opportunity for Sonatrach to discuss with all the actors of industry the questions which are confronted with today. The world is experiencing an upheaval in energy markets with consequences for the economy in general. We are recording a decline in investments, project cancellation across the entire hydrocarbon chain. We are witnessing a reconfiguration of the global energy landscape. We in Sonatrach have chosen to rely on two major axes: the partnership and the promotion of local content.
The demonstration is an opportunity to exchange experiences in the field of hydrocarbons and energy. It was also reported that the 2020 edition of the exhibition was cancelled due to COVID-19 pandemic.
Still with economy, Algeria hosts the 23rd edition of the International Exhibition of Building Materials, Batima Tech. Our journalist Zahra Farjani covered the event in the capital Algiers, where the fair is actually taking place, and returned with this report.
The activities of the 23rd edition of the International Exhibition of Building Materials and Public Works is set from the 7th to the 11th of November in the capital of Algeria. The event, organized over 2 decades annually, witnesses the participation of more than 1,000 exhibitors, 600 national institutions, and 400 foreign companies from 15 countries.
We are Equipe Ceramique, a Spanish company that was created in 1998. Its headquarters are based in Barcelona, and we collaborate with 35 factories here in Algeria. And it's basically specialized in the equipment of bricks and roof tiles.
My company is Molecorp. We have a big group. We produce different kind of pipes for water, for conduction water. And we make a drainage pipe for construction.
The 23rd edition of the largest annual event directed at construction and public work in Africa revealed the great ambitions of Algerian companies in the field of building.
Some company is an Algerian company doing for the wide format printing. They sell the printing and make service for after sales and guarantee.
Our company is called Griver, specialized in making green artificial grass. It's used for decorating green spaces such as cafes, hotels, and even houses.
Algerian companies active in the production of building materials aspire to achieve export revenues of more than $2 billion by the end of this year.
To Palestine now, where representatives of the European Union in the Security Council called on the Zionist entity to stop settlement operations, expressing their concern over the occupation's designation of 6 Palestinian human rights organizations as terrorist entities. Zahra Farjani again.
The representatives of the European Union expressed serious concern in the Security Council about the expanded settlement operations by the Zionist entity on the occupied Palestinian territories. The ambassadors of Ireland, Estonia, France, Norway, and Albania agreed during the UN meeting to stop settlement construction in the West Bank and East Jerusalem. Representatives of the European Union stressed that settlement construction is inconsistent with UN Security Council resolutions. The Irish ambassador said that settlement operations are illegal under international law and constitute an obstacle to achieving peace in the region, calling on the entity to immediately retract its recent announcements to build new settlement housing units.
Settlements are illegal under international law and constitute a major obstacle to the achievement of the two-state solution and a just, lasting and comprehensive peace between the parties.
The UN participants also expressed their grumbling about the occupation's classification of Palestinian human rights organizations as terrorist entities, stressing that their governments carefully study these classifications and affirmed that no credible evidence or conclusive proof was presented. The Palestinian ambassador in the United Nations in New York, Riyad Mansour, welcomed the meeting and its outcomes, appealing to member states to take concrete steps to implement these decisions.
The Assistant Secretary General of Arab League States, Ambassador Hussam Zaki, announced that a solution to the crisis in Sudan is imminent. Hussam Zaki explained in a television statement that the meetings with the army commander Abdel Fattah al-Burhan and Abdullah Hamdouk, the ousted Sudanese Prime Minister, were positive. Asma reports.
Will League of Arab States succeed while previous international mediations failed to find a reciprocal way out for most dangerous crisis threatening Sudan since overthrow of Omar al-Bashir's regime nearly 3 years ago? League delegation says that its meetings with Army Commander Abdel Fattah al-Burhan and the expelled Sudanese Prime Minister Abdullah Hamdouk was positive. Even higher than that, the delegation is more optimistic considering that the hazardous crisis solution is imminent.
I have met Army Commander Abdel Fattah al-Burhan to talk with His Excellency about Sudan and new developments since the 25th of October, before this period and after it. There was an oral message from His Excellency Secretary General concerning state of the country, the Arab League's support to our brothers in Sudan and its democratic transitional phase.
Nevertheless, the announcement called for by League of Arab States and other countries and bodies that entered line of Sudanese crisis may collide with rejection of all Sudanese parties of any reconciliation initiative. Returning to before announcement of al-Burhan's procedures, civilian component conditioned to enter into any negotiation path, while the army accuses civilian parties monopolizing power in the country.
You have already followed verdicts of Commander-in-Chief of Armed Forces, which came to correct the course of people's revolution, protect safety and security of the country and its union. After several attempts failed to repair the situation in Sudan because of a small group of people sticking to the country, being preoccupied with its good fortune and neglecting the demands of people expressed in their revolution. We affirm our strict commitment to the democratic transition in absence of elections in the specified year 2023.
Political crisis in Sudan has reached a dead end. It is more complicated by escalating calls by Sudanese Professionals Association, which in turn rejects any dialogue with military component, demands dissolution of rapid support forces and formation of a purely civilian government.
The African Union and the United States of America have announced that there is little chance of ending the current fighting between the Ethiopian and militants of the Tigrayan Popular Liberation Front. Asma again.
Concerns around the world about fight in Ethiopia keep increasing, with regional and Western forces asking for an urgent ceasefire, especially after a big fight between Tigrayan crowds and federal troops, and their progress reaching capital Addis Ababa this week. The African Union and the United States have declared there is little chance of ending fight in Ethiopia, while the United Nations has warned the risk of Ethiopia sliding into civil war. The African Union's envoy to Horn of Africa, former Nigerian President Obasanjo, and the United Nations Political Affairs Coordinator, Rosemary DiCarlo, briefed the Security Council.
And I welcome today the participation of President Obasanjo, African Union High Representative for the Horn of Africa. Mr. President, the year-long conflict in the Tigray region of Ethiopia has reached disastrous proportions. The fighting places the future of the country and its people, as well as the stability of the wider Horn of Africa region, in grave uncertainty.
Speaking from Ethiopia, Obasanjo said by the end of the week we hope to have a program that shows how Tigrayan forces can allow humanitarian assistances to access and withdraw forces to satisfy all parties.
More than 7 million people need humanitarian assistance. Efforts to mobilize assistance in Tigray, where more than 5 million people need food, and an estimated 400,000 people are living in famine-like conditions, continue to be undermined by an inability to move cash, fuel, and supplies into the region.
The UN estimates that 400,000 people in Tigray are living in famine conditions after a year of war.
Migrants are dying in Poland's forested border with Belarus as the two countries are locked in a geopolitical standoff. Polish authorities accuse Belarus of deliberately abandoning migrants near its border in an attempt to destabilize the EU. Islam Seed reports.
Videos shared by the Belarusian blogging service showed migrants carrying rucksacks and wearing winter clothing as they walked along the freeway. The European Union and Poland accused Belarus attempting to cause a violent aggravation and encouraging thousands of migrants from the Middle East and Africa to cross into EU through its boundaries. Polish officials have said they are prepared to defend the borderline by positioning more than 12,000 soldiers. Poland has blocked passages from Belarus and sent migrants back to the country. Migrants attempted to force their way through the barbed wire at crossing in the northeast of Poland. Deputy Interior Minister tweeted those Polish authorities are ready for any scenario. Poland's border guard has reported incidents of hostile deeds and threats by Belarusian forces intended for Polish forces across the frontier. The country's State Border Committee said Warsaw is taking an inhumane attitude and confirmed that a large group of refugees was heading along the freeway to Polish borders. Humanitarian groups have accused Poland's nationalist government of violating the international right to asylum by sending migrants back into Belarus rather than accepting their applications. Another tweet comes to light saying that migrant trafficking, violence, and ill treatment must stop, where Poland says its actions are legal.
The SpaceX Crew Dragon Endeavour capsule returned to Earth after being in space for around 200 days, ending an eventful 6-month stay on the International Space Station. Nabil Khazini reports.
It's finally over. A NASA live broadcast showed the SpaceX Crew Dragon Endeavour capsule landing Monday off the coast of Florida. The Dragon capsule was able to withstand the dizzying descent despite being slowed by unfavorable weather conditions. The Dragon capsule was able to withstand the dizzying descent despite being slowed by unfavorable weather conditions and Earth's atmosphere. The 4 astronauts therefore left the space station before the replacement team arrived to take over. A recovery vessel will retrieve the capsule, and the astronauts on board will be brought back to land via helicopter. The Crew 2 astronauts conducted hundreds of experiments and helped upgrade the station's solar panels.
Crew 2 has accomplished a lot of great science, grown vegetables, done a lot of chemistry and science experiments, biology experiments, physics, astronomy, broad range of things they've been able to accomplish. Over 250 experiments are running currently on board the International Space Station.
In space, a problem was detected with the capsule's waste management system, cutting off the astronauts' access to a toilet from the time the hatch closed.
What you're seeing, the toilet on board the Crew Dragon vehicle has not been used for the past time docked to station. In terms of the risk there's not a lot of risk other than what you said in terms of the comfort piece of it, right? but keep in mind that as astronauts, when you launch, when you land, when you go out on spacewalks, you're wearing a diaper because you're in these suits for quite a long time.
A SpaceX all-tourist crew had also encountered a similar waste-related problem during a September flight, which triggered an alarm system. The capsule landed in the Gulf of Mexico, marking the end of the Crew 2 mission. The Crew 2 mission astronauts and Dragon spent 199 days in orbit, the first US spacecraft to reach that milestone.
Exposed to significant competition against globally standardized competitors such as Netflix, Amazon Prime Video and Disney+, RTL Group aims to put a greater spotlight on its core brand, RTL+, which is set to compete with Netflix. Marwa reports.
The release of RTL Plus represents a significant challenge for Netflix in the United States. The new European platform has decided to offer different forms of entertainment and education, in addition to a service similar to Netflix. This week, Germany's RTL launched RTL Plus, a leading streaming service that combines videos, e-books, podcasts, digital journalism, and music. RTL Plus is Netflix's strongest challenge to the crown of streaming movies and series in years. 60,000 video hours, including historical dramas and police thrillers, are available on the new streaming platform, as well as thousands of audiobooks, podcasts, and electronic newspaper. The site broadcasts over 73 million tracks regarding to music and singing. For the next 6 months, the video service was offered first, followed by the rest of the services. By 2026, the department plans to invest 3 times as much in content as it currently does, expanding its annual investment from 231 million to 692 million. The network has struck a deal to broadcast weekly German drama series, with the first episode set to air in January of next year.
And finally, with the sport, the ex-legend of the Catalonian club Xavi Hernandez was presented last evening at the Camp Nou as the new Barca coach alongside family and president Juan Laporta. Xavi spoke for the first time as the FC Barcelona manager in front of a big crowd who received him in a spectacular manner. Let's follow. And before we wrap up, let's have a reminder of our main top stories. President of the Republic Abdelmajid Tebboune states that Algeria won't tolerate any interference in its domestic affairs. In an exclusive interview with Algerian Foreign Minister and National Community Abroad Ramtan Lamamra clarified the goal behind Ambassadors and Councils Conference. Risk of Ethiopia descending into widening civil war is only too real. That's all for me and the rest of the team. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.